Welcome to the Out of Capes podcast for The Flash, Season 1, Episode 4, a weekly podcast focusing on the CW's The Flash series. I am Staffa, one
And
of
I'm
your
Eric,
co-hosts.
and I'm Eric, the other one.
How's it going, Eric?
I'm good.
Just real quick, I want to apologize to the listeners. Last week we were unable to record, but we are back on track this week.
Yep.
So, and also this week I decided to turn off the webcam. Hopefully we get some better quality this way, less lag between the two of us while talking. So we'll go see how that goes. So the way how this episode is structured is that first we're going to have a quick review of episode 3 since we missed last week. We were unable to record. After that, we're going to continue on with the episode recap of episode 4 titled Going Rogue. Next, we're going to have a review and rate the episode. And after that, we're going to discuss theories and potential spoilers. That's going to happen afterwards. So we're going to give you a spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning.
Yes. We'll let you know before we get into that section, but before that, we're going to stay spoiler free, so you should be good. All right, so let's talk about just a quick review of last week's episode. What was the title for last week's episode?
Something you can't outrun.
Ah, okay, yeah. And the main bad guy was the Mist.
The Mist.
Yeah, and the main thing that came from that episode is that they are making Star Labs into a makeshift prison.
Also, the origin of Firestorm.
Yes. Yeah, that we got to see Robbie Amell.
Steven's cousin.
Yes. So, I mean that episode, I think it was a pretty good one. I mean, it wasn't.
I liked it.
What's that?
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I think there wasn't much wrong with it.
It's a flashback episode too. You have to look at it that way too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, overall, I would give last week's episode, from what I remember, I'd give it a 4. I really enjoyed it. I think it could have been a little better, but overall, I really liked it.
Yeah. It was a good episode, and I mean, Mist was a good villain. Let's put it that way. He's a really old villain, not a Flash villain, but he's a good villain for the Flash.
Like one issue I had was that they kept on telling him to stay away from him, and
Yeah.
oh, you can't defeat him. But then the way how he beat him was just by running and the Mist
Back
trying
and forth.
to chase them and
Yep.
getting tired.
And then he got tired, and then you can take him down.
Yeah, which I thought that was kind of a lame way to defeat the villain. And it just so happened that the Mist had super speed also.
Exactly the same speed.
Yeah,
And you
it's like,
think also with all the technology they have, they would make some kind of, like, I don't know, gas mask for him.
yeah. And also another issue I had is what they're doing with deciding, hey, this is how we're going to take care of the villains without killing each one in each episode by locking them up. That's not really legal, is it?
The other thing, too, when I watched it, I was like, how are they feeding them?
Yeah.
Like, they're just going to be locked in the thing. There's no holes for them to feed them in, or how can they, like, with Mist, how do you open the door without him escaping out?
Yeah, I thought that too, and I also thought it was kind of like an Arrow when Oliver puts Slade in that island prison.
Yeah.
It's like, who is feeding him?
That's what I thought too. But who knows?
Yes.
There might be a whole other part of that jail we just didn't see.
Yeah. I mean, like I don't know. Like I feel like they give us they give just enough information for kids to be like, yeah. But like for anyone who is like an adult and thinks about these things, it's like, wait a minute. There's a lot of holes in
But also,
what's
you have
going
to
on.
realize too, it's TV, so sometimes you just have to just suspicion of disbelief, kind of just like
Mhm.
turn your brain off for a little bit.
Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, other than that, I really liked the episode. That's why I give it a 4 out of 5.
A lot of Firestorm references too.
What would you rate it?
4.
4 out of 5.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So let's move on and talk about going rogue.
Yes.
Because we can't talk about last week's episode too much since
Foreshadow.
we got to talk about this week's episode.
Foreshadowing in the title.
Yeah, going rogue. So going over my notes I have, the first thing that we see in this episode is that they're giving Barry a multitasking exercise in which he's playing games with all three of the Star Labs scientists.
Yes.
And so basically what we got out of that is not only is he physically fast, but he's now mentally fast as well.
Exactly.
But like
The chest, though.
yeah, except for chess. But like when he was when he like walked away from the ping pong table, I'm pretty sure he was away from it longer than how long it takes for the ball to get to his side.
Yeah.
I think the way how to make that scene better is that you see him zip from from that ping pong table to one of the other two people,
Mm-hmm.
and then zips back to the ping pong table and talks while there, rather than, oh, I'm going to zip over to the operation table and have a long conversation and then zip back to ping pong.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
I
or do ping pong and then at the same time you have to answer trivia questions, kind of thing.
yeah, I think that makes more sense than
Puzzle together, that kind of thing.
yeah. But after that, we see the armored vehicle hijacking with
Yes.
we have a tow truck driving backwards at full speed.
Yes.
That's that's not really plausible. I had to like
I thought that too because I was like, there's no way a regular tow truck can pick up first of all, go full speed backwards and catch up to the armored vehicle, and then
mhm,
also have the ability to lift up the armored vehicle with just a regular tow truck.
yeah. And it just so happened that that tow truck had a little hook slot
Yeah.
specifically for that hook. Just very convenient.
Yeah, it's very convenient. And also, how like they're able, they just open the door so easily on armored vehicles when armored vehicles are locked from the inside.
Yeah, yeah, like they just the first thing that the security guards did was like open the doors and get ambushed.
Yes.
But like once Barry got there and started saving the day, I thought that was a really cool looking action scene.
Yes.
Just him
Taking out
zipping
all.
around.
Yes.
I mean, like I mentioned in the first episode that I'm a sucker for those slow motion scenes,
Yeah.
and I thought this looked really cool.
Yes.
I mean, they're definitely uh, backing this show with a with a good budget because those effects are pretty good. I liked it.
I mean, the way it sounds is CW is pouring more and more money into Arrow and Flash at the more successful they get.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's
Supposedly, like the crossover episode, they said like budget-wise, they gave for those to make the two episodes combined was almost movie level budget.
nice. I mean, it's definitely showing. I mean, those effects are pretty good for a TV show.
Yeah.
But then after that, we have after that scene where he pretty much stops the villains, the robbers, and
Yes.
they get away. I feel like
Not
he could.
taking anything.
Yeah, they didn't take anything. I feel like he still could have stopped them though.
Yes, he could have. He could have easily taken them straight to jail, but he just like stopped them and then ran away.
Yeah, he let them escape. But
Yeah.
after that, he basically um, IDs one of the robbers as Leonard Snart, son of a bad cop.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean we basically that's that scene he basically just shows off that he can look through the criminal ID, the suspect book really
Yeah.
quick, just to reinforce the fact that he's a
No,
fast thinker.
he's fast thinker and hand-eye coordination too.
Yes. Um. So after that, he sees that he gets to his lab and sees that he has a visitor, Felicity.
Yes.
Can we call this Bericity?
Felicity.
Yeah, and so
Awkward nerds.
yep. So, he's basically talking to Felicity, and she tells him that, yeah, I was listening in on your conversation with Oliver and know about your powers. And
Yes.
she says, I want to see it. Felicity and her many
Also,
innuendo.
you have to. I don't know if you remember this because I remember it. Is that in episode 3 of Arrow, she's on her computer and sees like the streak, and then she's like, "I'm gonna go see my friend who just got out of the coma." So that kind of like lays the groundwork for her to come in this episode.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Nice one. Um, so yeah, after that, I mean, Barry he basically shows off, his abilities and sets his shoes on fire.
Birch rubber.
Yep. And then after that, we have a scene where Leonard Snart, is at their secret hideout. How come secret hideouts are always like, uh,
Factory.
yeah, abandoned warehouses?
I don't
Always.
know. I don't know. It's like there has to be some shady, dark, dirty place with chains hanging from the ceiling.
Yep. CW has access to tons of these apparently.
Also, you have to realize it's not CW. It's more what the hell's going on in Vancouver, where Vancouver has all these abandoned factories they can use for sets.
Oh, is Vancouver where these
Yeah, they
shows
film.
are filmed?
They're filmed both. Yeah,
Ah, okay.
and then outside shots are just a combination of different cities.
So,
Flash is mostly Portland, and then Arrow is mostly like Boston, Frankfurt, and I think it's another city. I forget what it is.
I see.
I think parts of it are Seattle too.
So, we have Snart. He's at his hideout, and he deducts that the Streak is indeed a human. Uh,
Yes.
he's like, I think that this is basically supposed to show off that even though he doesn't have like
How?
uh, an education, he's still a really smart person with good strategic and
Yes,
deduction skills.
like he said that as a kid, his grandpa always take him to that diner. He says every time he's in town, he goes to that diner, and it's right across from the police precinct, and that's how he knew how much time earlier in the episode they had to do the heist while it's moving before police can actually respond to the spot.
Yeah. So even though he's not smart science wise, he's smart, with
Analytically.
yeah, with analytics and deduction and all that stuff.
The only thing I had problem with that scene was he killing the dude, and that's just totally out of character for Leonard Snart. Leonard Snart, the whole point he's a villain, but he doesn't kill. And then he straight just shoots the guy in the head. That's
Uh,
the only problem I
so
have
so
with
after
character.
that, we basically see um, Barry getting friend zoned with Iris.
Iris.
Yes, super friend zoned.
She
She's
tries to
like,
be a wingman.
yeah, she's like, oh, it's about time you finally found a girl that sees you for the real man you are, just like me.
Gosh.
Man, friend zoned.
Friend
That's
zone.
that is the Flash's weakness. The friend
Yep.
zone.
Yep.
It's his kryptonite. Um, and after that, we pretty much see Snart. One of his dudes are showing off these stolen weapons, these scientific, uh, super weapons,
Yes.
and he chooses the cold gun.
I mean, it's just a flame that's cold. Like a
hmm
flame, it's burned so cold, and he's like, I don't want the flamethrower, I want the cold flame gun.
I don't see why he killed that dude. It doesn't make
See,
sense.
like I said, he kills dudes. It's so out of character.
Like even despite let's say it is his character to kill guys that betray him and whatever. This guy helped him out. Why'd you
Yes,
kill him?
he's like, you can never know my secret. Then I took these weapons from you.
It don't make sense. Why do you do that? But despite that, I like the fact that they tied in why he's wearing those goggles.
Yes,
It says because
the
the
glare.
flare, yeah, the glare is so bright from
That's
the
actually in the
weapon.
comics, though. That's actually why he wears goggles in the comics too, because of his gun and the glare from it.
And then after that, we have trivia night that Barry, Felicity, uh, Iris, and Eddie all go to have this double date going on, and Felicity dressing up like a stripper.
Yes, it's CW
Come on, CW. I
pandering
mean,
to the fans.
come on now. I mean, like seriously, this is supposed to be like a local,
Casual. Yeah, local coffee shop running a trivia thing, and she
yeah.
dresses like she's going out to like dinner at a fancy restaurant.
Man, that's not even like a classy dress. That's like a skimpy dress.
Yes, there's
That's
multiple holes in it.
that's like what like a stripper would wear.
Exactly, this is what I told you when I first saw it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just shameless. I mean, come on now. I mean, like I'm a man and everything, but at a certain point, you're crossing a line from trying to, you know, pander to the audience, and you've crossed that line, and it just comes off as being really goofy and trying too hard.
Yes.
That's how I feel like.
Also, like Felicity, I know you want to have and stuff, but Felicity sees Barry as a friend. Would you think a friend would wear that to a friendly thing of trivia?
Nope. Come on now. Come on now. So, anyways,
Yes.
we other than Felicity's dress being ridiculous, we have we got the E equals MC hammer.
Yes. That no one understood except for Felicity.
Yup, because you can't touch this.
Yep.
Um, and then basically, um, Eddie gets called to um,
Before that, he
yeah.
misses a Millennium Falcon question.
Oh, yeah.
So people are like, "Oh my gosh, he's from the future. How does he not know that?"
Yeah. Yeah, I was also getting ahead of myself. Next on the notes is basically uh,
The gun's
Harrison Wells was having of father to son talk with
yes.
Cisco, telling him he's
Yes.
grounded.
Very disappointed in you.
Yep, because Cisco was the one that made the gun, and it's revealed here that the gun was stolen from Star Labs, and Cisco made the freeze gun.
Yes, that's the thing too. I mean, the way they try to act like it was stolen like a few weeks ago, but then before that, when Captain Cold gets the gun, he the guy's like, yeah, I stole after the particle accelerator because they only had like a few people watching the place after the accident. So that it was stolen like almost half a year ago, and they're acting like it was stolen like a few weeks ago.
Well, Cisco said 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, yeah, it was like almost half a year ago.
Yeah, I thought Harrison Wells was gonna stand up again and just stab Cisco.
Or just yep, stab him.
Yeah, he was gonna like get up out of his wheelchair and be like, "Look, Cisco, you effed up one too
I'm
many
so
times."
I'm so angry that my body's letting me stand just to stab you.
The power of Christ compels me, and I
That
will stab you.
or he like kicks him and then rolls over him in his wheelchair.
So, we have Snart. He's taking a tour around a museum several times, and the security guard notices the
No, he's the
suspicious.
curator. He's the
Oh,
museum curator.
oh, okay.
And funny thing about it is the curator of the museum, like in comics, is the curator of the Flash Museum. Yes, Flash has his own museum.
Yeah, yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, so the guy who's curating the museum becomes the curator of the Flash Museum.
Okay. So he
Yes,
points out to Joe that, hey, this
yes.
guy,
He's taken the tour way too many times.
yeah, and Joe immediately is able to ID him as Snart
Yes,
instantly.
yes.
So that shows how bad Snart's disguise was.
Of just wearing a trench coat.
Yep. So we have after Eddie gets the call that he has to go to the museum, Barry heads out to fight Captain Cold at the museum,
Yes,
and I thought this was also a really good scene showing how Captain Cold is using his tactical smarts to try to attack the civilians rather than attacking the Flash head on.
yes. Because he knows that Flash has his other weakness besides friend zone is saving other people.
Yep. Um, so I mean, I thought this was a really cool scene. I liked the effects. It looked really cool, especially when he was racing
Down the
the.
theater,
Was that?
down like the seats, the rows of seats in the theater area.
Yeah, yeah, and he was racing that the freeze beam after
Yes,
he got shot himself and has been slowed down by it.
yes,
Uh, and I thought this was a weird transition though. Like the guy died from the freeze beam,
yes,
and then like rather than Barry going after Cold or anything, it just transitioned from that to uh the next scene.
yeah. It was a little weird.
Yeah. So like I don't know, I felt like that scene with Flash versus Captain Cold it didn't have a good and good transition. Like it didn't show Captain Cold making his escape or anything.
No, they just kind of like, oh my god, the guy died, and then like you just kind of assume that he's walked out while Flash is dealing with the dead dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I like the scene. It kind of showed also Flash can't outrun everything, and he can't save everyone too.
I mean he couldn't outrun it because he got shot by it earlier.
Yes,
It
but
slowed him
also
down.
slowed him down, but he can't save everyone too.
Yeah. So after that, basically Joe's coming home and talking with Iris, and Iris wants him to open up, and Joe's like, "Look, I need to keep my focus." And
Can't be worried about your boyfriend when I'm out on the field.
yeah, like he can't be focused if he's not thinking of Eddie as his partner, but instead think of Eddie as Iris's boyfriend.
Yeah.
So after that, Star Labs, Barry is upset with the guy's death, and then they spill the beans to Barry about the gun being made by Cisco, and Barry's upset that Cisco didn't trust him.
Yes, I created a gun to stop you, which
Now,
kind of their logic doesn't make sense whatsoever. But we'll go
yeah,
there.
like the time frame stuff doesn't make sense with this.
Because supposedly the gun was created right when the particle accelerator was created.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I'm saying. Like the line, these times they give when the gun was stolen, and when Cisco says the gun was stolen, are two different times. That's where it gets confusing.
yeah,
Because the gun, according to Cisco, was created to stop Flash when they first saw his powers, but then according to where Snart got the gun, he got the gun right when the particle accelerator exploded, like a few days later when people were like going through the debris.
yeah. Yeah, I totally agree, and I feel like there's some timeline issues that weren't worked out with the writers.
Yeah.
So after that, we have um, Captain Cold. He's
Wimpy
breaking into
security guard.
what's that?
Wimpy security guard.
Yes, yeah. He breaks in. Well, where's the place that he broke into this time?
The museum.
Oh, the museum again. Oh yeah, because he went back. He wanted the diamond.
And he's wearing his classic blue parka with the fur.
Yeah, and the the wimpy security guard, freeze. And the Captain
Guys
Cold
like
responds with, "Want to end up like that door?"
the guy just runs.
Yes, that's the best security guard ever. I mean, like, yeah, that's kind of goofy, but like, I feel like with the tone of the show, not trying to be too serious, I feel like it fits in.
Yeah.
I mean, I found it funny. I
So
liked I
saying
liked
that
the
if you
humor.
were the security guard stuff, you wouldn't run away.
Yeah. Plus, the security guard had his own gun with bullets,
True. Do you? eh, But
and
as we clearly saw, the ice beam was pretty fast stuff.
yeah, but bullets are fast too. Plus, he was already pointing his gun at Captain Cold. Captain Cold was pointing his gun downward.
True.
He'd have to have a pretty fast draw.
I doubt he does.
But I mean, like, because of like I mentioned, because of the theme of the show being how it is, and
Yeah.
unlike Gotham, which tries to be dark, so therefore the humor in Gotham comes off being extremely goofy.
Yes.
This I feel like it worked out. I found it funny.
Yes. I did too.
So
It's
after
almost. It's for me. It's almost kind of like comic book goofy, where like it's made to be silly, and hey, it's just a TV show, kind of goofy.
yeah,
Like,
and
to me,
and
it
since you
worked.
mentioned Captain Cold's wearing the coat, I
Yes.
feel like that they made a good design for him.
Yes.
Like it matches the comics, but it doesn't look too
Like
comic booky.
it's not like bright, like Robin's egg blue kind of thing.
Yeah, like it looks practical, and that's
Yeah.
one thing that I feel is important uh, when you make these comic to TV or comic to movie. Uh, that you make the characters look practical, and I feel like that suit looked practical.
Yes. It's just like him wearing his regular pants, but like a blue, like winter coat with fur around the edges.
Yeah, and he has a cold gun, so he doesn't want to be cold. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So we have this scene where he steals the diamond and makes it to the train, and Joe tells Eddie to wait here. Eddie's like, "WTF, mate?"
Let's see if you remember this. You remember Young Justice, right?
Do I remember what?
Young Justice.
Yes.
Do you remember the fake country that Queen Bee, the leader of Hive, was from? The like
I
Middle
don't
Eastern
remember what it
country.
was called.
That's the where the diamond supposedly is from.
Ah, okay.
So they're doing a lot of these stuff, like name of these countries where it comes from, are like references to DC things.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And as Joe is trying to pursue Captain Cold, uh, Eddie comes in and saves him,
Yes.
just to show that they need to be partners and work together.
Yes. I'm here for you, bro.
um.
I gotta
So,
keep you safe, or then I have to deal with sad girlfriend.
yep. So Barry catches up to Captain Cold in the train,
Yes.
and just as before, Captain Cold is using the um, pretty much the civilians as his weapon. So he freezes up the train, jumps out of the train, and then Barry has to save everybody. As the train is crashing, and I thought this was also a really cool looking scene.
But it's not. A problem what I've had with, and I've said this before, is if he's using that fast and grabbing people that fast, these people would not be alive.
Yeah, they would like.
Him grabbing him and running and dropping him, alone, the inertia and the G forces alone would kill them.
Yeah, I mean that. They'd get whiplash. You know,
Exactly.
like they
Broken
would.
bones.
But like it's kind of like when you have like Superman picking up a building.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't happen because if he were to grab like a corner of a building, the rest of it would crumble off of that corner.
Yeah.
But it's like magic physics. You know, that's what happens. Well, especially in DC.
Because the particle accelerator that he can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like I think DC does this more than Marvel does because
Yes.
in Marvel, if someone would pick up a building, like the whole building would crumble.
Yeah.
If Superman picks up a building, the building is completely intact.
Yeah.
And he's just holding it by the corner. So it's magic physics that's in DC, and so I don't know. Like I mean, other than the fact that he would be destroying these people, I mean, I thought it was a pretty cool looking scene. I
Yeah.
liked it.
Yep.
And then we have Cisco coming in to save the day, which it's like, how did he know where exactly Captain Cold is going to be?
Exactly. And no, they pinged off the gun. Remember, they had the whole scene where Felicity hacked, which
Oh yeah.
I'm not even going to get into the hacking.
But like, how'd they catch up with him though? Like, did they have a car?
That's what I'm saying. That's what you don't know. It's like 24. How do they get across the city of LA in like half an hour when it takes most people like 22 hours just to go like a mile in
Hmm.
rush hour traffic?
Yeah, but Cisco, he was able to bluff Captain Cold with his vacuum cleaner.
With lots of LEDs.
Yeah, his high tech vacuum cleaner, and so Captain Cold just walked away,
Yes.
and yeah, after that, they go back to Star Labs. They're a team once again. They trust each other, but
Yes. Teamwork.
Wells comes up to Cisco and tells him, don't ever mess up again, or I will stand up and stab you.
Seems like he's like it's kind of like where you have a whole plan and then something happens that like interferes with that plan and you get really angry. That's how like Wells seemed like to me.
Hmm.
He did not know about Fisco made the gun, so he saw it as a threat to Barry because he wants Barry to live and be the greatest hero ever.
And then after that scene, we have Captain Cold with his friend Mick, and who's going to
Okay,
be Heatwave because
okay.
he.
When they filmed that scene, they had not cast the person yet, so that's why you don't see the face.
But
But
oh, okay. But
that's why
you do see him holding
lighter.
a match because
Yes.
he's so obsessed with fire that he will light up a match just to see something.
Yes. And the funny thing is, the person plays like Captain Cold. and the person that plays Heatwave were in the same show together as brothers. Yes, so
Hmm.
they work together.
Ah, okay.
But the whole point of this, like going rogue, is they are going to set up the rogues because the rogues are like one of the Flash's greatest villains.
Yeah. And one thing I noted was that the final scene of this episode was not Harrison Wells.
Yes.
Because the first three episodes, we ended the show with Harrison Wells standing up and doing something.
Yes.
Seeing going into his secret future room or stabbing a
Which
dude.
which you notice, like in episode 3, the room was built before the particle accelerator.
Yes.
Because he used it to watch Barry get struck by lightning.
Yes. But
So
with this episode, it didn't end with Wells, so I thought that was interesting to note since this was the first episode that didn't end that way.
yeah.
So let's review and rate this episode. What would you give this out of 5 stars?
I really like this episode. I'm gonna go 5 stars.
Me too.
I
I get
really love this episode.
I
I watched it
yeah.
like 3 times.
Oh really?
Yes, I really do believe Captain Cold's like a really good villain for Flash.
Yeah, they I mean I didn't watch Prison Break, but I feel like this guy that they got is a pretty he seems like a pretty solid actor.
And the funny thing is, DC using the same actors again. He was the voice of Deathstroke in Young Justice.
Oh, okay.
So, like, they use the same actors, just different roles most of the time.
Hey, the dude who played Lex in Smallville also does the voice for the Flash and most of the animated stuff.
Exactly. That's why Justice League did a whole episode about that. The episode where Lex and Flash switched bodies was the
Yeah,
person joke about that.
yeah, that was one of my favorites, especially when he was like,
Unmasked.
yeah, he unmasks them and he's
He's like,
like,
I have no idea.
yeah, he was like, at least I'll know the identity of the Flash. I have no clue who this guy is.
Yes.
But I mean, yeah, I give this episode 5 stars. Yeah, we had a lot of complaints, but I mean, those complaints don't deteriorate from like the overall episode. I feel like it was a very entertaining episode. They had a lot of references to the comics. Captain Cold is a really cool character. Uh,
I like the how Cisco's naming all the villains.
yes.
I love
Um,
that dynamic.
I mean, like I was just I I don't see any major problems with this episode.
No.
Like all the things that we named were just like little nitpicky things here and there, but
Which you
overall,
can get on any show, though. You can
yeah,
nitpick anything because they can't
oh,
think of everything.
yeah, overall, very solid episode. I'm very excited to see, uh, next week's episode. Well, sorry, there is no
Two
episode
weeks
next week. Two
because of
weeks from now.
elections, which
Yeah,
they're gonna catch. Arrow's gonna catch up with them not showing episode on Thanksgiving. That's how they're gonna make up for missing a week.
I see. And I mean, yeah, I mean, like as of right now, I think The Flash is taking my first place as far as favorite comic to TV show adaptations.
Right now, it is number one at CW.
I mean, it's a very fun show. It's a very solid show, and this episode was very good. I really liked it. Hopefully, they continue the quality that they've been showing us.
Yep.
So,
I think episode 5 is Plastique, which is
hold
gonna
on, hold
be.
on. We'll talk about spoilers when we get to that
It's not
section.
spoilers. That's just telling the next episode.
Well, it can be spoilers for some people.
Okay, I'm gonna say
So
it's gonna be Plastique. It's in
let's
the
let's
trailer, but okay.
let's wrap it up and then get to the spoiler section.
Okay. I have
So
tons of time.
so we have no listener feedback this week, but if you want to write in, uh, either letting us know what you thought of, the current week's episode, or whatever, right into capes at outofcontinues.com. Uh, and wrapping this up, if you enjoy what you've been hearing, support us by liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter, leave an iTunes review. We do have an iTunes page up right now. Uh, link is on the
It is,
website.
it is working?
Yes,
Okay.
it is working, and link is on the website. Or you can contact by email, which is capes at outofcontinues.com. All of those things just mentioned are on the website, which is www.outofcontinues.com/TV podcasts. Or if you just go to outofcontinues.com, you'll see a link on the side that says TV podcasts. Click on that, and it'll take you to the TV podcasts website. So you can also give me a tweet. I'm at Sayedstafa. That's SAYEDSTAFA. And Eric does not
Steve
have a Twitter.
still doesn't have one.
Still don't have one.
If
All right.
Batman shows up in either one of the shows, I'll get one.
All right. With that said, I am Stafa.
And I'm Eric.
See you guys in the spoiler section. And if you're not going to be there, see you in 2 weeks. All right. Spoilers.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Do you want me to talk into
Final
Plastique?
warning. Spoilers. Go ahead.
Plastique. So Plastique works for the military, and with the particle accelerator, I guess everything she touches explodes. So now it's Flash versus the military, and Explodey Girl.
So Plastique is basically like a female Gambit.
Yes. But he doesn't. She doesn't throw things. She just touches them, and they explode.
Hmm. Do we know anything about her version? I mean, the Flash version of her.
Not that much, really. Never
Okay.
really. It's like, I mean, I've seen some shots of like the journal they show in the episode, but they really kind of keep what she looks like under wraps.
Uh huh.
Which I mean, they'll show like what they look like normally, like the actor, but they won't show what they look like in this suit.
Okay. Anything else you have other than the next episode's gonna be called Plastique?
Episode 6, and they saw in the preview of the dude who drives the Hummer, and he turns into Metal Colossus from X-Men. He is known as Girder, and he can turn his body into living metal. And also, he is the bully he used to torment Barry as a child, so we're going to get flashbacks probably.
Oh, definitely.
And he has strong, super strong skin, so the Flash can't just punch him.
And the Brick Dude. Which episode is he gonna be in?
Brick is Arrow,
Oh, Brick's gonna be Arrow. Okay.
and Heatwave is not going to show up until after the combo episode, so I'm guessing not until like January.
Now theories.
Okay, here's my theory. Remember the ice gun, right?
Yes.
What if,
Oh,
like,
hold on. Before you go into that, I just want to mention real quick that I like the fact that they are sticking with the same description of the gun as they do in the comics, which is
yes,
shooting absolute zero rather than shooting ice.
yes,
Because like the difference between Captain Cold and Mr. Freeze
yeah,
is Mr. Freeze's gun shoots ice.
yes.
And
The thing too is like freezer burn. That kind of like it uses that concept where it's so cold it burns kind of thing.
yeah, so that makes Captain Cold's gun more powerful. It is a better gun than Mr. Freeze's because
Yes.
his gun makes things into absolute zero.
Yes.
Like I remember seeing one like comic page in which he basically like shoots like this thin like this really thin wall like this glass wall, but
Hmm.
it's of his absolute zero, and a guy tries punching him, and he punches this absolute zero wall, but like his fist shatters. Like, that just shows how powerful his gun
Yeah.
is. So I mean, but go on with your theory.
So my theory is this. I believe Captain Cold's going to shoot Caitlin with it, and that's how she's going to become Killer Frost because somehow she's going to survive. Or Firestone's going to try to, like, mess with her particles, I don't know, science shit. And she's going to be all pissed because she's now blue or whatever, and that's how she gets her frost power and becomes Killer Frost. That's my theory.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yes.
I have a theory on Wells.
Okay, what's your theory on who?
Um, you mentioned that one of the versions of Professor Zoom, Reverse
Yes.
Flash, is that he's like a descendant of the Flash.
Yes.
I theorize that Wells might be Barry
In the
from the future
future. Yes, that's
because
our. Some people have the theory.
like I noticed how tall he is,
Yeah.
and so he's
Also,
Barry is also a tall person.
it kind of looks like an older Barry anyway, hair color.
Yeah. Yeah, like it looks like they cast, they casted the, two guys to look, that look pretty similar. Like they're
Yes.
both white, skinny, tall guys with brown hair. Um, and he might be Barry from the future.
Yes. You want to hear my theory?
Yes.
So, do you know Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Yes.
Do you know who Pariah is?
Pariah. No.
He was cursed to forever witness the anti-monitor as he destroyed the universe after universe until he arrived in, like, our universe and warns Barry of the impending doom. Thus, Barry sacrifices himself to stop anti-monitor, which is why he's trying to get Barry up to, like, this level. Also, why they did a whole, like, crisis thing in the first episode,
Yeah.
and how he said he's waited centuries for this in the third episode.
Okay.
So it kind of makes sense now.
Yeah.
So basically, he's trying to help Barry get to a certain point where thinks he can stop Barry from, like, destroy the anti-monitor. That's my theory. Also, he said he feels like he's a pariah, so I think that might be a reference to.
Yeah, I do remember him saying that.
Yes.
All right. So, anything else you want to add before we close out?
Um, Not really. I
All
think that's
right.
all my theories for this episode.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
See
See
ya.
ya.